We encounter a lot of souls in all our incarnations. All of them have one purpose, which is to help us learn and evolve. However, oftentimes, we experience that learning may not come as smoothly or as easily as we want. We find ourselves in very unsettling, confusing, and chaotic relationships, and we wonder what we have done to deserve them. We always struggle in the process. When we do encounter such relationships, we often encounter a karmic soulmate. I often call them spiritual classmates. We have them in our lives because we have left some issues unresolved and perhaps even refuse to learn lessons these relationships bring. And so, we never manage to break the cycle or graduate to the next level. Until we learn our lessons, we will keep encountering them in our different incarnations. Karmic soulmates are not confined to romantic relationships, but could also present themselves within the family, friends, or sometimes even strangers. Their purpose, oftentimes unbeknownst to them, is to teach us significant lessons that have a great bearing to our long-term karmic development. Let me digress a bit. I have mentioned in the previous episode that we also often mistake a karmic soulmate as a twin flame encounter, and I really wonder why that happens. There are many different beliefs about twin flame and soulmates, but I encourage everyone not to just assume and base the meaning solely on what we read and hear. Try to listen to our spirit, connect with our higher self, then we will be shown the kind of relationship we are encountering at a given moment. A soulmate can be one who we journey through life together, a companion soulmate, perhaps growing spiritually side by side, and it could be one who could bring chaos into our life, but only with the intention of resolving lingering karmic issues, karmic soulmates. This kind of soulmate, a karmic soulmate, is often chaotic, perhaps because the amount of learning we need to achieve is of great significance compressed within a brief encounter, a lifetime, which is really quite short. Having said that, imagine ourselves being given the opportunity to get our most desired dream or goal through completing a task assigned to us. This opportunity comes from a being that can foresee the future and has the power to improve the lives of those it encounters, on one condition, that we pass the test. Let's think of a grand dream. Let's go for the winning numbers of the lottery, worth $20 million. Imagine all the people we can help with that amount of money. Now, let us talk about the task we need to do in exchange for the winning numbers. Let's imagine the task of learning a full edition of a Terra encyclopedia, full of wisdom and facts new to us, but those that govern the world we live in and could provide such a mastery of life. There are about 12 volumes, each having 700 pages, that we need to learn in a month. Yep, a month. After which we will be given a test to check the scope of knowledge we have learned in a month's time. If we pass the test, then we get the winning numbers, not to mention the secrets to life's mastery. I'm sure it'll push us to the edge, giving us terrible headaches, nervousness, and even dread from the amount of information to learn, digest, and retain. We could break from the pressure of fear of failing the test and missing the great opportunity, thereby failing ourselves with no one else to blame. And because such opportunity is rare and generous, we need to do it. We must do it if we seriously want to achieve our dream. Well, a karmic soulmate is very similar. We need to learn and retain very significant lessons in such a brief encounter to prepare us for an even greater challenge or a precious reward that would require a certain degree of spiritual maturity for us to accomplish or appreciate. Now, talking about chaotic karmic relationships, as humans, we would end up loathing these souls who have given us such a hard time and much great heartache. But as spirits, we will always be grateful to have encountered them because they help us grow and move closer to reuniting with our twin flame and our Creator. If we are spiritually enlightened to a degree, we will have the strength, patience, and faith to believe that everything happens for a reason and that in the end, we will always come out of a challenge wiser, stronger, and more empowered. We need to realize that when we talk about soulmates, They do not only pertain to the airy-fairy, lovey-dovey stuff, but in fact, it is a strong presence in our lives and we encounter them every day and in every way. If you wonder how, perhaps you should think about your most annoying colleagues at work. Maybe your difficult and moody boss. What about your unbearable mother-in-law? Or your annoying neighbor or unreasonable customer client? Quite stereotypical, isn't it? When we find ourselves refusing to leave our comfort zones, pretty soon we will encounter one. An encounter with a karmic soulmate is a wake-up call from the universe, telling us that we are on the brink of stagnation, that we are being stubborn and refuse to learn and improve ourselves, that we are soon going to be entrusted with such a precious gift. Hence, some spiritual exercises are required. But sometimes, the time and the way we do things to correct such karmic cycle is not right. We become stubborn in trying to make things work the way we want to or think is best. If this happens in a relationship, then there is a tendency for it to be oppressive and could even bring about codependencies. Codependency is a term originally used for people living with alcoholics and drug dependents with regard to the way they react, behave, and respond to their partner's behavior and environment brought about by their partner's condition. But now, its definition has changed into a more expansive one. The most obvious symptoms of a codependent relationships are the presence of oppression, any form of abuse, the obsession and compulsion to stay in the very unhealthy relationship and environment, hoping to make it right. A codependent relationship also happens when only one of the partners is so keen on fixing the problem. They do everything in their power to make things right at the expense of their own well-being. They think that if they keep trying, they can save, heal, or be able to show the other the way to deliverance. For the person who keeps giving, he or she is misguided by his or her desire to take on the role of the savior or nurturer. He or she unfortunately puts more importance on this false hope, the relationship, and the other person than his or her own well-being. Sometimes, when we come across such a relationship, we need to acknowledge that the lesson we need to learn is actually not mending it or making it work, but of letting it go. By being subjected to constant pain and anguish, oppression and heartache, we are really not learning the right lessons. Remaining in such a continuous dysfunctional state can actually harm and destroy our spirit, which means it would take us more time to correct the wrongs we have done to ourselves through our own stubbornness and neglect. Think about it. And now, I shall leave you with these quotes to ponder. And the 10 rules for being human. Number 1, you will receive a body. Number 2, you will be presented with lessons. Number 3, there are no mistakes, only lessons. Number 4, lessons are repeated until learned. Number 5, learning does not end. Number 6, there is no better than here. Number 7, others are only mirrors of you. Number 8, what you make of your life is up to you. Number 9, all of the answers lie inside of you. Number 10, you will forget all of this at birth. This comes from the book If Life is a Game, These Are the Rules, written by Sherry Carter Scott, PhD.